हेलो एवरीवन। स्वागत है आप सभी का इंग्लिश रीडिंग प्रैक्टिस की एक और वीडियो में। तो आज जो हम स्टोरी रीड करेंगे उसका टाइटल है द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ शांता। तो रीडिंग शुरू करते हैं। इन अ स्मॉल विलेज इन महाराष्ट्र सराउंडेड बाय ग्रीन हिल्स एंड muddy fields lived Shanta, a widow with her only son Ravi. Their house was small, two rooms and a tiled roof that leaked every monsoon, but it was filled with warmth, laughter, and the smell of fresh rotis every morning. After her husband passed away when Ravi was only 6, Shanta's world fell apart for a few months, but she could not afford to break down for long. She had a son to raise and a future to build. आप लोग बता भी सकते हैं मुझे कमेंट में, अगर आपको स्पीड कम लग रही है ज़्यादा लग रही है तो नेक्स्ट टाइम उसके अकॉर्डिंग की अपनी स्पीड को मैनेज कर लेंगे वीडियो में रीडिंग की। So she rolled up her sleeves and began working at a nearby farm, sowing seeds, cutting grass, and carrying heavy baskets of crops under the burning skin. Every rupee she earned went into two things: food and Ravi's education. Ma, you don't have to work so much, Ravi would say, watching her hands rough from labor. Shanta would smile. If these hands can write your name in school one day, then the pain is worth it. Ravi was a bright child. He loved reading and often studied by the dim light of a kerosene lamp. Their neighbors would laugh. Why are you wasting money on books, Shanta? He will just become a farmer like us. अगर आप लोगों को भी रीडिंग अच्छी लग रही है और समझ में आ रही है और ये थोड़ी सी भी हेल्पफुल है तो वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर कर दीजिएगा। Shanta would reply calmly, let him decide what he becomes. My duty is to give him the chance. Years passed. Ravi grew taller, sharper, and more determined. He topped his class every year, winning small scholarships that helped reduce some of the family's burden. Still, money was always short. There were nights when they ate only rice and salt, and mornings when Shanta walked 5 kilometers to work because she couldn't afford the bus fare. When Ravi finished 10th grade with the highest marks in the district, a local teacher visited their home. He must go to the city for college. The teacher said he can get a scholarship if he applies early. The words filled with Shanta with pride and fear. How would she afford it? The travel, the hostel, the books. But she looked at her son's hopeful eyes and said, we will find a way. That night, after Ravi slept, Shanta went to the small wooden box where she kept her savings, a few hundred rupees carefully folded in an old cloth. It was not enough. She thought of selling her gold earrings, the only piece of jewelry left from her wedding. The next morning, she did just that. When Ravi found out, he protested, Ma, you shouldn't have. They were Baba's memory. Shanta touched his face gently. Your education is his true memory, my son. In the city, life was not easy for Ravi. He missed his mother's cooking, the smell of the village soil, and her gentle songs at night. But he worked hard, studying under street lights. When the hostel power went out, he took part he took part-time jobs at a tea stall to pay for extra books. Every Sunday, he called home from a public phone booth. Ma, are you eating well? He would ask. Shanta always laughed. Yes, yes, don't worry about me. Tell me what you learned this week. In truth, she was often tired and lonely, but she never let him hear it in her voice. Her pride kept her strong. After 4 years, Ravi completed his engineering degree with distinction. He was offered a job in a big software company in Pune. The day he received the offer letter, he ran to the phone booth and called home. Ma, I got the job. I did it. Shanta did not say Shanta didn't say a word at first. Tears rolled down her cheeks silently. Then she said, you didn't just do it, beta. We did it together. When Ravi returned to the village a few weeks later, the whole community gathered to welcome him. He had brought new clothes for his mother, a simple green silk sari for the woman who never stopped believing, he said. That evening, after dinner, Ravi and Shanta sat outside their house watching the stars. The night was quiet except for the sound of crickets. Ravi said softly, Ma, I want to do something for our village. The children here have dreams too, but no one helps them. Shanta smiled, her heart swelling with pride. Then help them, beta. That's the best way to thank life, by giving back. So Ravi started a small foundation to provide free tutoring for village children. He used part of his salary to buy books and hire teachers. Shanta helped too. She would cook meals for the children who came to study, just as she had once done for her own son. Within a few years, many children from their village went on to high school and college. Whenever anyone asked Ravi how he managed it, he always said, because I had the strongest teacher in the world, my mother. Years later, when Shanta grew old and her eyesight began to fade, Ravi brought her to his city apartment. She loved sitting on the balcony, watching the sunrise. One morning, she said quietly, Ravi, Do you remember that night when I sold my earrings? He nodded, his throat tightening. She smiled. That day I wasn't sad. I knew that one day those earrings would return, not as gold, but as your success. Ravi took her hands, still strong despite the wrinkles. Ma, everything I am is because of you. A few months later, Shanta passed away peacefully in her sleep, wearing the same green sari her son had given her. On her bedside table was her most precious treasure, a framed photo of Ravi receiving his degree. At her funeral, villagers spoke of her kindness and strength. She taught us all. One of them said that a mother's love is the greatest power on earth. Ravi stood silently, tears in his eyes, but a calm smile on his face. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "You are still teaching me, Ma, every single day." After that, Ravi renamed his foundation Shanta Smiles in memory of the woman whose sacrifices had turned hardship into hope. He continued her work, building small libraries, organizing scholarships, and ensuring that no child in their village had to stop studying because of poverty. And every time he saw a young boy walking to school barefoot, books held tight in his hands, he saw a reflection of himself and the quiet strength of the woman who had made it all possible. तो फ्रेंड, आपको अगर ये वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो वीडियो को लाइक कर देना।